Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to sidechain your kick and your bass so that they sound tight, clean, you have nice punchy low end that no longer sounds messy and disgusting in the car or in your speakers. We're going to figure out exactly what sidechain is, how to do it properly, very simple and easy way, demystified. Without further ado, let's dive right in. I have my track pulled up right here. Using Ableton's stock compressor under audio effects, we're going to get the stock plug-in compressor that they have. We're going to put this on our bass track. The reason why we're putting sidechain compression on our bass track is because we want the 808 or the bass to get sidechained, meaning that it is going to duck in volume whenever the kick comes in. So the kick drum will trigger the sidechain compression to kick in onto the bass. So we put the compressor on the bass track, okay? We're going to open it up, we're going to turn on sidechain, and we're going to let the audio come from the kick drum. So let's go find the kick, it's up here. So the audio from the kick drum is going to trigger the sidechain compression on the bass track, meaning that whenever the kick comes in, we're going to get some compression on the bass so that it ducks in volume and then it comes back up right away. So this way the kick and the bass, they don't fight anymore. So let's start setting this up. We're going to solo the drums actually, so you can hear the kick and the bass together, all right? Now, in terms of these settings, where should we leave these settings? Well, a 2-to-1 ratio is fine. That's perfectly fine. We don't want to do too much, so we're just going to leave that the way it is. As far as our attack time goes, we're also going to leave this at the default, which is 2 milliseconds. It's a pretty fast attack. It's actually really fast, but we want that because we want the bass to duck pretty much right away. So we're going to leave that just the way it is as well. No need to move things around. The release time is what we want to focus on. So here's a cool trick to perfectly time your release, right? So you can actually go to your kick track, and if you look at the sample here, you can see that it ends right over here where it says 150. So if you look closely at the sample, you can see on the bottom, it shows you the length. The length of this kick is about 150 milliseconds. If you look right down here, 150 milliseconds, right? If you're using an audio sample, you can also just highlight over the sample, and Ableton will tell you down here in the very bottom left the length of the sample. So this is 150, which is actually 150 milliseconds. So we can go and set that as our release time for the sidechain. So now the compression is going to release as soon as the kick sample is done. So this way we have a perfectly calculated and timed release for our kick and our bass, right? So very, very simple trick right here to get your release time accurate for all your songs. Now alternatively, you could literally just press auto. This is auto release. It means it's going to release automatically. The algorithm is going to detect, the kick sample and automatically release it on its own. Personally, I used to time my releases like I just showed you, but nowadays I just press auto release because personally I think it is a little bit tighter sounding. It sounds better in the car and it's a little bit more accurate. So I just let Ableton take care of it for me. So basically just press auto release. But I want you to understand that you can also time the release manually by looking at the length of your kick drum as well. So anyways, now that you understand that, we're going to use auto release because that's quite accurate, right? And we're going to bring our threshold down so that we actually get some gain reduction and we actually get a little bit of compression. So I find that the sweet spot for me is around -24. That's where my threshold is going to be. So that means whenever the kick exceeds this threshold, gain reduction will kick in, compression will kick in. So let's look at our meter and see how much gain reduction we're getting now on our bass track. That is quite extreme. You can definitely hear the sidechain in action. You can even see that it's visually squashing the bass, and it's letting go pretty much right away. It's being automatically timed to release properly. Now let's turn it off so we can hear before. This is before sidechain. And this is with. So it is a subtle difference, but you can definitely hear it if you have a good listening source. You can hear that the bass is ducking. It's kind of pumping. It's kind of adding that breathing movements to the music. It's really like pumping it out and making it more bouncy and dynamic. And yeah, the kick comes in clearly. The bass is clearly ducking down. It has that nice sound to it. Now, obviously, this is a lot. So we can actually just turn down the gain. I'm going to bring it down -15. And this is going to be basically controlling how much gain comes from the kick. So we just turned it down because I want like only a little bit of sidechain. I don't want so much. So we're just making this subtle. So as you can see, there's a little bit of gain reduction coming in. Now it's more subtle, but it's still taking effect, because if we take it off, you can still hear that there's a difference. So this is without the sidechain. And this is with sidechain. So that's basically it. That is how to use sidechain compression in Ableton. Very simple, very easy. And I want you to understand the why instead of just blindly copying techniques. The reason why we sidechain is very simply so that our kick and our bass, they sit well together. It's tight. They're not clashing, right? But this way we don't have to sacrifice the low end from either of them. We can keep both of them nice and fat, but the sidechain compression is ducking the bass when the kick comes in and it comes right back up. So that way everything is breathing, it has its own space, and it sounds great. Try this out. Let me know how it goes. Comment below what you want me to cover next. I hope you found this helpful. And if you want more one-on-one guidance with me personally, you can click the link in the description, and you and I can talk together one-on-one, figure out a strategy, get to your goals, and get to that next level. So thanks for watching. Until next time.